This video is sponsored by Skillshare.
Hi flower friends, it's Nicole from Flower Hill Farm, and we are inside my messy kitchen. I'm serious, I don't have time to clean. So it's my messy kitchen, and I have been wanting to take you guys along on the process for my tomato puree. So I make a lot of sauce from scratch, and when it's tomato season, I like to make my own puree. This is a 10-liter flower bucket. This is the first harvest of my San Marzano tomatoes, and they are stunning. San Marzano tomatoes are my favorite because they have very little juices and pulp inside. Let me cut one open and show you. See, you can even tell there's nothing, you can squeeze it and nothing comes out. All right, I'm gonna cut it in half. Wow, so amazing. Look at that. Look at that. And it is delicious just on its own. But it also makes the best sauce. So I'm gonna take these, wash them off. I'm gonna plop them in a little bit of water, let it boil for a couple of minutes, and then I'm gonna use my commercial tomato mill to puree these babies. Right now I'm just taking off the little pieces of stem that they have, if they have them. That one.
And while I do this, let's take a look at how all of these tomatoes were harvested and how many I actually collected in pounds. The other day when my helper Miranda came over, it was really too wet to harvest any of the flowers. So I said to her, how do you feel about harvesting tomatoes? And she said, that's my jam. I said, sweet, let's do it.
This is what Miranda has picked so far, and there are more buckets down there. The tomatoes are all, there's more cherries. And she's way down there. I don't even think you could see her. Oh, I can see her.
She filled bucket upon bucket upon bucket upon bucket.
Man down, man down.
Fell off the turnip wagon.
And I wanted to show, do you see these? These are the spoon tomatoes. Aren't they the cutest?
Hombre.
They're very cute.
There were a combination of the San Marzanos. We have some Mortgage Lifter beefsteak tomatoes. We had some Abe Lincolns. We had some Cherokee purples. And then we had a ton of the cherry tomatoes too. So after all was said and done, I ended up weighing it all on the porch. I was dying to know exactly how many pounds of tomatoes. I even posted it on my socials and had you guys guess at the total amount of tomatoes that we collected in my big old wagon full.
0 pounds. 7.1. So 7.1 pounds for this tiny bowl.
When all was said and done, we collected a total of 102 pounds of tomatoes, and this was the second harvest of the tomatoes. I had harvested 2 buckets out of this already, and there is still a third that's yet to be harvested. Okay, let's go back in the kitchen and puree these tomatoes.
This one has a little bit of a bad spot on the bottom. I'm gonna cut that off, and the rest of it's still good. It's such a meaty, meaty tomato. Amazing. After the tomatoes are washed, all I'm gonna do is put a tiny X in the very top, and that just makes it easier for the skins to come off in the machine, because when you use a mill, you don't have to take the skins off at all. The machine does the work for you. Just gonna put a tiny X in the top, and it's probably unnecessary, and you can do it on both sides if you want. Top, and then a little slice in the bottom. But like I said, the machine, it does this work for you. Now I'm gonna put it in the pot that I'm going to be just parboiling them. That's a lot of tomatoes. This looks great. I'm gonna add water and then get this going just a little bit of a boil just to get them nice and hot. While the water comes to a boil, I'm gonna get my mill. I store it in the cupboard underneath the stairs with Harry Potter. I'm gonna go grab it and put it on the counter and show you guys how it works. Ooh, that's looking so good. You can do more than just scoring the bottom of them. You can actually cut the tomatoes in half, whatever you want to do. This is just the method that I've used, and you can see where I cut them, that some of them are even splitting, so they're just a beautiful thing. Okay, this is the mill. So I don't even know what kind of, okay, Reber, that's the brand. I'll put a link in the description below. It was not cheap, but there are smaller ones that you can use, and there are also ones that you can hand crank. That's how my grandfather used to make his sauce. Okay, so here's the power button over here. I don't have it plugged in yet. The only parts that come off, the top comes off, and then this section over here, because this is where the tomato pulp comes out and drops into this. This is where my actual good stuff's coming out. You're being too loud. You're being too loud. Kicking packages. Oh, we have toilet paper. Yay. You better inspect it. Inspect the box. You better inspect the box. You better inspect the box. Okay, back to this. So this is the machine, and you just put the tomatoes in here and they go down. If you need to, you can squish it with that, and then it comes out here. And then out this end right here, this drops down into this glass, and there is like a leaf or dirt or something down in there. Oh, it's one of the tomato leaves. So this pulp, the skins and stuff goes into here, and then I would put it back into the top to run it through another time. So this is done boiling. I've got other stuff on my counter, guys. I'm making quiches and I'm making lots of stuff today. This has been sitting for a couple of minutes, so I'm gonna go ahead and move it on over and start the processor.
And now, more about the sponsor of today's video. It's Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for creators. Explore new skills, deepen existing passions, and get lost in your creativity. I have so many things on my plate right now, and many of you guys are reminding me to take care of myself and slow down. So this class, Self-Care Essentials, Your Ultimate Playbook, is a perfect way to make sure I am balancing my time and my energy. TV and podcast host Jonathan Van Ness shares his self-care secrets using a set of simple, practical tools to tune into your needs. By the end, I truly felt like some weight had been lifted off my shoulders, and who couldn't use some of that? Thanks, Jonathan. Skillshare is curated specifically for learning, meaning there are no ads and new classes are always being added. The first 1,000 people to use the link in the description will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare, so you can start exploring your creativity today.
Look at that. Oh my God, it's beautiful. About 2 inches from the bottom of the pan, and that was one thing of tomatoes. And then over here, we've got, this is all the pulp and the skins that came out. I'm gonna just like run this through one more time just to make sure we get all the goodness. I see some, tomato stuff in there still. So I'm gonna go ahead and run that through again. Shoot, forgot to replace it. Got some more coming. I ran it through twice more, and look how well it did. Just lots more sauce, and I accidentally forgot to put it there for a second. So I gotta clean that mess up. But yeah, it's looking fantastic. That is an amazing tomato puree. Okay, that was round 1. I'm gonna go ahead and wash some more tomatoes, get them boiled, and put them through the miller. Is it called the miller? I have to let it cool for a little bit because it is hot once it's gone through the mill after it was boiling. And then after it's cooled down just a little bit, I'm gonna divide it and put it into freezer bags, and I'm freezing it according to the recipes that I wanna make with it. So we'll do that after I'm done with this second batch. What are you doing in my kitchen? And that's round 2. Did you see how much sauce I made? So I decided while the second batch was boiling, I'd go ahead and start to save it because honestly, it's cooling down to a temperature that I can work with, and I might as well do it now before I add the new hot stuff. I changed my pants too because I was warm. This is a holy mackerel huge bowl, and I gotta rinse it out because I can feel little dust particles in here. So let me rinse this out. It is now clean. I am going to set it on my scale and I'm gonna tare it. I'm not gonna rip it apart, it's silly. That just means I'm gonna place it to 0 because this itself weighs 55.4 ounces. So boop, back down to 0. Oddly enough, that's about how much I need of sauce to put in there. So when I make sauce or chili for my friends or family or having a party or just on a Sunday afternoon, I use usually 2 cans of this, and this is 28 ounces, and these are just crushed tomatoes, which is basically what I just made right there. So this is 28 ounces, I use 2 of them. That means I need 56 ounces to equal what I would normally cook for my friends and family for a normal night. I make a huge pot of sauce. When I make sauce, I make a huge pot and we eat spaghetti and meatballs one night, meatball subs the next night. The last time I made a huge pot of sauce, then I made zucchini lasagna the next night. So I use the sauce over the course of several nights in a row just because that's how I like to cook. I'm gonna measure out 56 ounces and that's what we'll do. Let's see how many we make. All right, here's the pot of sauce. When I say the pot of sauce, I mean the pot of puree. It's right here. Okay, so here it is. Let's see. Oh, am I gonna have enough? Oh. Shush. Shush right now. You shush. Okay, I am dripping the whole thing out. What? Okay, apparently that's enough for 1 thing of sauce. So can the sauce, you don't have to put it in the freezer. I have a ton of freezer space, so I'm gonna freeze it. Just using a freezer bag and I'll pour it right in. You can obviously label it before you put it in. That way it's easier to write on. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm so tired. Pro tip, garden markers also work on freezer bags. 56 ounces of puree tomatoes. I wrote sauce, I didn't mean to write sauce. Puree tomatoes, yeah. This one's now boiling. I just shut it off and I'm gonna pour this sauce into this bag without spilling it. Maybe. Oh boy. You know what? I've seen other people put it in a smaller bowl. Oh yeah, let me do that. This inside the bowl like this so that has like a place to sit while I pour. I'm gonna tilt you down just so you guys can see. Whoa! Just kidding. Okay. Awesome sauce. And now I'm just gonna lift it up. Oh yes, perfect. That is the most perfect amount of homegrown San Marzano tomatoes, pureed, and then frozen immediately. I get all the air out. Oh yeah. This is the fastest way that I can go from garden to freezer, and this will get me my fresh sauce all winter long. Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and process that batch right there. Just wanted to show you guys how this thing is awesome. You don't need something that is like this. This thing is, it's amazing, but a hand miller will do just as well of a job. It might take you a little bit longer, but they're pretty simple to use. That's what Grandpa uses. Here is my empty pot, here is my full pot, and I'm gonna make more sauce. See you guys. I was just giving this bucket to Miranda to harvest basil, but we have a monarch who's making his chrysalis, so the black bucket's fine. I don't want to disturb that from happening. I need better lighting than this. Come on, baby. This is my Willow. Come say hi. Come say hi. Say hi, baby. Yes, I know. Almost don't want to even waste it.
I will sacrifice for you.
My willow, I love my willow. You want tomato? You want tomato?